Thank you for joining us today. So far, what I've been sharing with you in my motivational segments are content from my 5 books that I'll be launching in September. Today, we are talking about leadership. Leadership is like a relay. You run your leg and you pass the baton to the next runner. The next runner also runs their leg and they pass the baton to the next runner. And if every runner does well and plays their part well, hopefully the team wins. Countries, organizations, institutions, and families that are impoverished, that are behind, that are failing, are those who fail to pass the baton to the next leader. Oftentimes, these selfish leaders, whether they are presidents, chairman of the board, CEOs, or even parents, don't develop the next generation enough. And so when the time comes for them to pass the baton, they say, oh, this person is not mature enough, this person is not good enough. And so even though the person might have a certain position, this old and ancient leader continues to overbear themselves on this new person. Sometimes it happens in the family. Parents can choose to keep their children uneducated. And so when the time comes for the child to rise up and fly like an eagle, the child is unable to do so. And the parents, being controlling, spend the rest of their lives telling the child what to do, where to go, who to marry, who to take as friends. And the child who is 40 or 50 years old is still controlled by their mother or is still controlled by their father. This is not leadership. If you want to make waves and you want to move ahead, you have to learn to lead yourself and to develop people so that they can also pass the baton to others. If you develop enough people, you will find prospects among them that you can pass the baton to. The purpose of my motivational presentations and my book writing is to provide you with enough information so that when the time comes for you to pass the baton on to your children or the next owner of your business or to the next leader, you'll be able to do so with confidence. You see, the people who are not able to pass the baton on to the next generation have a low self-esteem and they don't know how to live life without being in the spotlight. I challenge you to play the role of a proper leader. And the first thing you need to do to play the role of a proper and an effective leader is to have a vision that extends beyond yourself. If you can come up with a vision that looks beyond yourself, that looks towards the next generation and the generation after them and the generation after them, if you can look at 50 and 100 years into the future, you will start training people who will be able to take that position in the near future and in the distant future. You'll be able to put in systems that people will be able to use to grow. Families will be able to use that system to become better. Short-sighted leaders only think of today and don't think of tomorrow. Medium-sighted leaders think of tomorrow and not the next 10 or 15 or 20 years. It is long-sighted leaders and visionaries who think of years and decades and centuries after them. The next thing you need to do is to lead yourself in such a way that you will endear yourself to people. When you are a leader and you lead with such discipline that when you tell the people, come in at 8 o'clock, you are also in at 8 o'clock and not 9 o'clock. That when you tell your workers, be in at 7:30, you are also in at 7:30 and not at 8:30. This wins over the heart of the people and they begin to believe that what you are saying is possible. What you are telling them to do is doable. And when you're a leader and you inspire people, they will go anywhere and everywhere with you. Lastly, if you are going to be an effective leader, apart from thinking centuries ahead of you and apart from living a life of example for others to follow, you must also look for people to train. Find people you can pour yourself into. Part of my Classic Piano Academy training program, where I teach youngsters from 4 years and above to play the piano, is for me to pour myself into them. Not just the music, but also the wisdom, the intelligence, and the discipline to succeed in life. And when I'm able to pour myself into people, it gives them the opportunity to say that someone poured themselves into me. I am also going to pour myself into others. Have a vision that is beyond you. Live an exemplary life that others will admire and want to follow. Find people you can pour yourself into, and that will make you a leader that others will never forget. This has been Afro Lancelot Banson. And remember that in September, I am launching my 5 books. I encourage you, come to the launch and purchase a copy for yourself. Stay blessed by the best.